Why real pirates almost never buried treasure, and who invented that myth. When we think of pirates, most of us imagine a lonely island, an X marked on a weathered map, and a chest overflowing with gold and jewels buried beneath the sand. But what if I told you that this image, as fun and exciting as it sounds, is mostly a myth? In reality, real pirates almost never buried their treasure, and the idea that they did mostly comes from books, not history. Let's go back to the golden age of piracy, roughly between 1650 and 1730. This was the time of infamous pirates like Blackbeard, Bartholomew Roberts, Anne Bonny, and Calico Jack. Pirates were criminals, yes, but also businessmen in their own brutal way. They weren't interested in waiting years for a treasure to be worth something. They wanted quick profits, and they wanted them now. You see, most of what pirates stole wasn't gold or silver. It was much more practical. They looted sugar, cocoa, tobacco, cloth, alcohol, weapons, spices, and other goods they could quickly sell or trade. These items were perishable or bulky, so burying them would make no sense. You can't exactly hide 5 barrels of rum under the sand and hope to come back later. It would rot, leak, or just be forgotten. Even when pirates did steal coins or jewels, they usually spent it fast. Life at sea was hard and often short. Many pirates didn't live past 30. They drank, gambled, and partied in pirate-friendly ports like Nassau, Port Royal, or Tortuga. There was little reason to save for the future when tomorrow wasn't guaranteed. The idea of burying treasure for later just didn't fit the pirate lifestyle. So where did the myth come from? A big part of it can be traced to literature, specifically Robert Louis Stevenson's 1883 novel Treasure Island. This book painted the now iconic image of a pirate map with a red X, secret codes, one-legged pirates with parrots, and buried treasure waiting to be discovered. It captured people's imaginations and shaped how the public thought of pirates, but it wasn't based on how pirates actually lived. There were a few real stories that might have helped inspire the myth. The most famous is probably Captain William Kidd. Kidd was a privateer, basically a pirate with a government license, who was tried and executed for piracy in 1701. Rumors spread that he had buried treasure somewhere before his capture, and some people even went searching for it. But whether he actually buried anything valuable is still debated, and nothing truly legendary was ever found. Still, the idea of hidden treasure was too good to resist. Over time, storytellers, novelists, and eventually movie studios ran with it. It became a staple of pirate fiction, from Treasure Island to Pirates of the Caribbean. The buried treasure trope gave pirates a mysterious, adventurous quality that audiences loved. But again, it wasn't reality. In truth, pirate wealth often came in the form of captured ships and trade goods, not shiny gold coins. Pirates would strip valuable parts from enemy ships, take the crew hostage, and ransom them for money. Sometimes they'd take a ship for themselves and use it in future raids. That was a much more practical and profitable strategy than digging holes in the sand. Another reason pirates didn't bury treasure is trust, or the lack thereof. Pirate crews operated under strict, often democratic codes. They divided loot fairly, or at least tried to, and everyone had a say in how things were run. If someone suggested burying loot, the rest of the crew would immediately be suspicious. What if that person came back alone later to claim it? Trust was hard to come by on a pirate ship. Besides, pirates were constantly on the move. Naval ships hunted them. Rival pirates tried to steal their goods. Colonies cracked down hard on piracy when it hurt their trade. The idea that a pirate could bury something, leave, and return later safely was just unrealistic. Life was chaotic, violent, and uncertain. You took what you could, spent it fast, and hoped to survive the next raid. But here's where it gets interesting. The myth of buried treasure lives on because we want it to. It taps into something deeper, a fantasy about adventure, mystery, and hidden riches just waiting to be discovered. It's the same reason people buy lottery tickets or search for lost cities in the jungle. The idea that you could stumble upon a forgotten fortune is irresistible. And sometimes fiction becomes more powerful than fact. Pop culture has turned pirates into romantic, adventurous rebels. We forget that they were often ruthless killers, thieves, and outlaws. Movies make them charming, books make them clever, but in reality, they were just desperate people trying to survive in a brutal world. Still, the legend of buried treasure gives us a version of piracy that's more fun and far more memorable than the truth. So next time you watch a pirate movie and see someone digging up a treasure chest under a palm tree, remember, it probably never happened. But don't let that ruin the story. After all, myths are powerful, and sometimes they tell us more about what we wish were true than what really is.